Hello, I'm back. Penny here with a double state of the collection. Two collections in one and a discussion about why do we even have two collections? Can we kind of bring it together and have one cohesive collection instead of two collections? I don't know, guys. So Empress is here and we're going to talk about some watches. First up, I'm going to go through our affordable watches just so you get an idea that we do have the watches that give some watch enthusiast street cred, which I think is honestly kind of silly, but we started with Seiko. To an extent, this was my first mechanical watch, and this is a Seiko Recraft. And I've got a couple of SKXs. This is one of them. We have the SKX Pepsi 009J, and this is the 11. So it's pretty cool. I do like that. We do have this practice of giving away our affordables, so we're kind of down to just these few. And the Hamilton Khaki will probably go to someone, I think. I don't know. We bought it for an anniversary.
You have tried giving that away before. And
I think we will. I don't wear it. I don't know. And this is not the Hamilton of my choice. If I was going to like tweak it and get the right Hamilton, there's a couple of other ones without the day at the top that I like better. But anyway, guys, these are our affordables. Empress also has an Orient Bambino with an open heart. I just could not find it. I don't know where I put that thing. Obviously, we don't wear it. And like I said, I have another SKX. But so we're down to about five or six of these affordable watches. And we're probably going to be giving this one away soon to someone I work with who's really into watches. And so, yeah, guys, this is it. If you feel like, hey, we're doing yard work or something and we're not going to wear one of our luxury watches, we'll probably put one of these on. No G-Shocks, interestingly enough. We actually do not like the G-Shock. I have not really found a G-Shock that I like. I had one.
We give the G-Shocks away as soon as after like a month of owning them.
We've given them one to our nephew, but we only had that one and we gave it away.
Yeah.
Okay, first up with Empress's collection. So now we're getting into the sentimental pieces, and this is
my grandmother's Seiko.
Look how thin that is.
It is extremely thin. It's what did you say the strap was? 13?
The strap is 13 millimeters, and so I think it's tiny.
This Seiko is probably from the 60s or the 70s. My grandmother wore it, and I acquired it when my mother passed. I almost lost it. I thought I had lost it, but it was hiding in a purse, which was quite nice to find. But the strap was just about dead. So we got it this purple strap because the purple actually goes really well with the aged watch.
With the patina on the dial. Yeah, this is beautiful. Like the way this patina is amazing. I just wound it and it still works. It still ticks, still keeps time. It's pretty amazing that this has probably never been serviced and it still works. And it's just this random.
It's never been serviced in the time that I've had it.
Yep.
And I doubt it was serviced in the time that my mother had it.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing for a vintage Seiko that we have. Okay, ladies, Seiko. And then we've got our only dress watch in the collection, which is Empress's 1953.
1953 Longines tank.
Yep.
I believe white gold and diamondique indices. I believe it's a white gold back and case. But this is the piece. We bought it on this strap. This strap is absolutely gorgeous and supple and lovely. And it is a lovely dress piece. We wear it whenever we're not wearing one of the bigger.
Yeah, we don't wear it that often, to be honest, but we should. I think if we ever go back to the Symphony,
ever have a time where there isn't
black tie.
And we can go to real events, then yes, it will get more often.
I think now we would wear this, and it is kind of nice to have one vintage piece in the collection. You also had a 1940s Longines that you gave to my mother. Correct. So Longines, in a way, is kind of like our family brand, even though we only have one of them here. I think of it as our family brand.
I figured I would have more Longines by this time.
Yeah. We always look at them and we like that moon watch one. I mean, the moon phase Longines.
Moon phase one is
It's possible.
famous.
It's possible, guys.
But we gotta wait. We
got other things.
I'm expecting something big. People.
Okay.
I'm expecting something big.
Yeah. So we haven't bought any more Longines, but we might. It's kind of representative of our mothers and our connections to them. So it just worked out that way. But this is the only vintage piece we have in the collection.
Correct.
So now we're moving into some of your other pieces, including this Seiko Prospect. I think it is Save the Ocean. I'm not big on the Seiko like references, but I think that's what it says.
Well, I know it's the Save the Ocean. I always want to call it the Planet Ocean, and you have to correct me.
Right.
It is the watch that started me in my love for blue dials.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful blue dial.
It is a gorgeous blue dial. So the story behind this is that Jacques Cousteau's grandson helped create this to support some of the work that the family is still doing to save the oceans, I guess. But that is a beautiful piece. I love it still to this day. I can rock it in a pantsuit with a dress. This piece is just absolutely magnificent, and I still love it.
I'm glad you love it. So this is like you like big watches, and this is definitely a beefy watch. I think this is 22 millimeters on the bracelet, and a pretty big face.
That sucker is thick.
You like
thick
this style, yeah. All right, so that is those are 3 of Empress's pieces. Now we're gonna get into the heart of your collection here. So we got that. Go over to the watch roll. Okay, all right, excellent. And we've got another beefy buddy here. You've got.
I know you don't like this watch, but I love
this watch's days are numbered, guys.
And listen, even though the class sometimes wants to stick and act like it can't latch, I still love this piece.
This is a 90s Seamaster chronograph. Tantalum, titanium and gold, yellow gold. It's really rare that's one thing I'll say for it. It actually has the wave pattern dial. I don't know if you guys could see this on the iPad, but it does have the wave pattern dial. No tritium, I believe, but there's some kind of discoloration on the lume plates, so that is interesting. I think this is gold plated. I mean, maybe it's gold filled. It hasn't come off this bezel. But what can I say? It's a thick watch. Kind of like, why does it have to be a Seamaster chronograph? What is the point of that? A dive chronograph. And these are not actual, what are these called? Pusher locks. You don't have to unscrew these pushers to use it. It's just ornamental.
Yep. I didn't even know that.
It's still, it works. It's 90s. I remember Tim Mossel said once that this is like a Bond villain's watch. If James Bond wears the Seamaster, this one's like a villain's watch. Ooh. And I agree with that. Like,
I respect that.
Oh, one thing we noticed that's really cool with this, with a UV light, there is the red tips are somehow stand out. They actually light up. They don't have lume in them, but somehow when you hit a UV light on this thing, all you see are the indices and the tips of the hands, but then you also see this red somehow. It's really cool, and you see the red in the subdials. So that is cool about it. Funny story, there's kind of a story about this watch, which was that this was an impulse buy for me. I bought this watch, then I, shortly after owning it, decided I didn't like it. It was weird. I don't like this tantalum titanium. I don't like this coloring of the bracelet in the case. And so then I sold it locally to a jeweler. Empress was like, "Why did you sell that watch? I liked it. It was weird." And then I thought you were like bookmarking in Chrono 24 very similar Seamasters. And I was like, we could just get this back because the guy couldn't sell it because it's so unique. But he never sold it.
I don't believe in getting back something that you sold because then you have to pay extra.
Yeah, he charged me like $200 more to it was probably like two or 3 months later, and he hadn't sold it. And he was like, well, I got to make a profit here. So It was lame. But I ended up paying the extra $200 because I thought you wanted it. And then when I brought it home, you're like, oh, well, I was okay without it. I'm like, what? So we still have this watch, guys.
But
I'm not a huge fan of it.
I'm
not a huge fan.
I love this watch.
Okay.
I think this watch is amazing.
Stays
and
numbered.
Every time you say something about having to sell something, I know it's on the chopping block.
Well, I think we have to sell things to keep the collections cohesive and like just there's so many watches. Okay, you're gonna see, guys. Like I feel like we have a lot of watches and we can't wear them all. We wear our watches for a long period of time. So you last wore this like June or July,
Correct.
And it's November. So maybe that's not a long time to some people, but we have a lot of watches that I feel
to wear a watch a month.
Just sit exactly. So that anyhow, let's go on. Let's go on to the rest of the collection.
Months. I don't have 12 watches.
No, but then you're only wearing some watches maybe once a year, so or maybe twice a year. Let's see how many you have here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next up is a recent acquisition. This is a watch that you really wanted. I'm getting the fingerprints off. It is your Tudor Black Bay Red.
It is. It's a beautiful piece.
One of the first watches that you really liked, and in fact you wanted originally the ETA version, which I still think we should try to find.
I wanted the Tudor Rose, but when I was surprised,
with the rose on the dial.
When I was surprised with this, I was very happy with it. In the early days, I really wanted my collection to be Longines and Tudors.
Vintage
Longines and Tudors. What I did learn from having the 1953 Longines is that sometimes vintage causes you more stress and headache than you ever need.
Yeah.
Especially when the crystal popped out of the Longines. I didn't stop looking at vintage. I do look at vintage often. But this piece, when you offered it to me, it was a beautiful piece and I wanted it. So
yeah, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, you are.
I'm over a lot of these watches now, guys. But I will say this helped us build stock with the 80 number 2 because, it was just kind of like, I got the Milgauss, we got this, we got another watch of yours. Mm-hmm. And I thought, hey, why don't we build, some goodwill with them by buying a Tudor? My problem with this watch is it's so darn thick. I don't like it, but you don't mind thick watches. But I just feel like it's a block on my wrist. I love the red, and I wish they would come out with this in a Black Bay 58 case because I'd be all over it. It'd be amazing. But in this size, 41 millimeters with this very thick case, I just don't love it. But it is a great watch. It's a good quality watch. The other problem I have is when you do change your mind about Tudor, they're really hard. I mean, they're really hard to get your money back out of. They're really soft in terms of just getting your money out of it. I don't love that. I don't love it, guys, but it is what it is.
But if you're not someone
that sells, exactly. And I've said I wasn't a seller.
Tudor is a great buy.
Exactly. If you're gonna keep it.
And I can say I'm not a seller. I'm not a seller. And I'm honest with that. I'm not a seller.
Right. You haven't sold anything. Nope. And in fact, I am always encouraging you to get stuff, or I'm just buying you stuff. Yep. Here is another one of your watches. One of the ones that I just bought you randomly because I know you liked the Speedmaster and you've been talking about, you kind of wanted a Speedmaster. I had a Speedy and you wanted one that was different. And so this is the Hesalite sandwich, which people have seen on the channel before.
Yeah.
Better decorated, I think, than the current ones, than the 386 ones, I think.
Yeah, I fell in
Can't
love
see
with
it that
this
well.
watch.
Display case pack.
When I knew that there was a Hesalite sandwich, I knew that I had to have it. I was stalking it on Chrono 24.
Yeah.
And so I was just watching and trying to see when it came up. I went on the Speedy Tuesday site and, got the numbers and was looking for this watch. And when you surprised me with this, I was quite happy.
Yep.
I was shocked that now it is the only Speedy in the collection, though.
Yes, it is. And it may also be short-lived. Let's see what happens.
No.
Let's see what happens.
No.
Okay. Next up.
I've already said no.
Let's see what's happening here.
You're not letting. I'm not letting that one go.
Number next, guys. We'll talk about unification here.
Yeah, we can talk about unification all along. I'm not letting that one go.
Here is Empress's first Rolex. It is the OP39.
Yes.
Rhodium dial.
Beautiful piece. I love this being my first Rolex because really, I was like, yeah, Rolex is Rolex. I understand everyone loves them, but you know, if you can get a tutor that does the same thing, why wouldn't you do that?
Okay, you talking bad about Rolex now?
I'm not talking bad.
What's happening here? This is
going
awry.
About Rolex. I'm telling what my thoughts were up until the point in which I got this watch.
Okay.
I got this watch, and I love this watch. I love this piece. It's very, at this point for me, this is a sentimental piece, and I probably would not do anything to get rid of it. I don't care what the market says.
Oh, yeah. You know, because it's a keeper. Keeper for life. Look at that.
And so, yeah, it's a beautiful piece. It takes me a day or two to reacclimate to it not having a date on it. Because I feel like so many of my pieces do have a date on it somewhere.
Well, all of these do. Well, your Tudor and your Speedy don't have a date, so these three don't have a date.
Yeah.
But you're wearing one of my watches right now, and that has a date.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't. Okay, so I'm trying to keep everything in the frame here.
Okay.
For your pieces.
I think that's most of my pieces.
One more.
Right. The most recent acquisition.
Yep. Most recent acquisition, and I didn't really plan this out, guys, so it's all ad-libbed. Here is your Datejust 41.
That's my birthday.
Yep.
That is such a special piece. Because when we went to the person and I said what I wanted, and he wrote it down. And, you know, there was this chance that I wasn't going to get what I want. I wasn't going to get either the 41
Are you sad you didn't get the 36?
I'm not sad I didn't get the 36 because I think the 36 is a little pain in the ass. I love this piece. I love the Jubilee bracelet, the blue dial. I could just sit and stare at that for hours on end, especially with the fluted bezel. It is eye-catching. It is gorgeous. And yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Like all the things.
So that's
all mine.
Your collection. That's Empress's collection. So you have, let's see. Put the Datejust there. They're just not really a good way to orient these. Okay. So yeah, that's the heart of your collection right there. So you've got 6 pieces and then 7 with this, and we just kind of count this as sentimental, that this would never really.
Correct.
I think this Longines is pretty sentimental now too.
Yes, it is.
So it's like that's 6. Those 6 pieces are your collection there.
Correct.
Okay, so what is next? I'm going to go ahead and do my collection, which I won't spend that much time on. This will go a little bit faster than I thought, because anyone who watches this channel already knows what I have in store. We'll start with the watch that I'm wearing today. This is all in no particular order for me. So we'll move these pieces over. Watch that I'm wearing today is the Rolex Milgauss Black GV. I don't know what they're going to do with this watch in terms of updating it. I hope they retire the green crystal just to keep this one special. I know they won't retire the lightning bolt hand, which is pretty amazing on this. My favorite angle from the Milgauss is like looking at it from the side and seeing this like shiny green crystal. You haven't worn this yet, have you?
No.
I think you should wear this next. But it's pretty amazing. I love this watch. It's so quirky. It's so freaking weird. Bought and sold it 3 times. You know this drill. So that's my Milgauss.
And we wonder why I don't want to sell anything.
Oh yeah, but they're not going to be repeat offenders here. Not going to be rebuys anymore. I'm never rebuying again, guys.
You heard it here.
But here's my first Rolex. This is the Explorer 2, 40 millimeter. And actually probably
I haven't worn that very long.
You haven't worn it in a while. I wore it pretty recently. But probably my favorite Rolex. And definitely the Rolex, the watch that I travel with. And can't say enough about it. It is spectacular. And a really good buy still, guys. Really good find out there for Rolex lovers. Or, you know, and I think better proportion than the 42 millimeter. What else? You have a watch on of mine, so let's put that one in here.
Okay.
And I should start to say ours, because, you know, it's the same house. We've got to start making decisions that if we want to scale up or get some of these other pieces on the horizon, I really feel like
Nope.
we need unification. No. Here's the BL&R. You all know the story of this. My first Rolex purchase from the AD, and I bought it with no shopping history, and it was pretty cool. But I'm not gonna, it's pretty loose too. I think I'm finally not retaining water. All right, so there we go, is the BL&R. Okay, and now I only have 5 pieces, so we're gonna get into the last 2 pieces of my collection. The most recent addition, and that is the Kermit LV. You haven't worn this one either.
I haven't worn that at all.
Listen to this, guys. Keep tabs on how many watches Empress hasn't worn yet that we still need to rotate through. This is the Kermit. What can I say about it? I've said a lot about it recently, so I won't say much more other than it's growing on me. It's been a slow burn. I'm just not a diver person or a Submariner fan, I think. But if I am going to like a Submariner, this is probably one of the 3 that I could get with. Okay, guys, so that's 4 of my 5. And
I could wear that one next because I am a diver person.
Yeah, you are. Okay, so there's that. And let's see what else we got. Final piece.
The baby.
Yeah, I'm going to close out the end of the year with this because I love to wear it again. All right, so this is the Royal Oak 15450 in silver or white, depending on how you see it. And, man, I want more Royal Oaks. So that's where we're getting into the unification part of this collection. Okay. So we're going to continue. We had a little hiccup here. I'm going to have to edit this footage, guys, a little bit. Very light editing. But anyhow, this is the final piece in my collection, the Royal Oak.
The Royal Oak is absolutely gorgeous. It's a stunning piece.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
when the sunlight hits it, when the clouded light hits it, it just screams. Do you see what you were wearing on your wrist, bitch? Because it is just beautiful.
Yes. Okay. So I think more or less all of these watches are in the frame. I'm going to try to get them all on camera here. So these are all the watches, guys. Now, maybe to some collectors, this is not a lot of watches, like the core part of the collection, right? And this is probably not a lot of watches, but since we wear them for so long, you know, it does bother me. It doesn't bother Empress, but it does bother me when we're not wearing the pieces for very long, and it just takes a while to go through them. Like, we wear a watch, we enjoy it. I wear mine for like a week now, but sometimes a month, and you are wearing one for a month or more sometimes, and so we just have pieces that just don't get worn. So that's kind of part of the reason I want to think of this as one collection instead of 2 collections, but also because there's some bigger pieces on the horizon. And if we're adding pieces, then, you know, we still have the same problem of like, are we able to really wear these? Because I've got 5 and you've got 6. Yeah, you've got about 6 that we would count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 6. Oh no, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't wear the Longines, but it counts.
No, we said the Longines was with my grandmother's.
No, only the grandmother's is a sentimental piece. The Longines it counts, but we won't sell it. So you're right. So okay, so you have 6 and 6, guys. 12 pieces. And obviously I have some of the heavy hitters. You don't have the heavy hitters. So my proposal in this household, now you're getting into the marriage counseling part of the video, guys, where my proposal is to unite under one umbrella, under one banner, under one household, and have one collection from henceforth, where we have pieces that we both discuss and want together, like want it to be in our collection, our single collection, as opposed to your collection versus my collection. Now, there will always be pieces that are more yours or more mine in terms of when we got them or how we got them, like to commemorate something special or whatever. But in general, I think seeing it as one collection. And to be honest, I wouldn't count this Seiko in our collection because I don't count my Seikos. So we're going to take that out of the picture. Okay? Take the Seiko out. Because it can stay, but it's not a part of the core collection. This is, this is what we're talking about here then. All right.
Oh, look, now it's 5 and 5.
Right. There you go. 5 and 5. And I remember I have trimmed. So this year I lost a bunch of watches. Honestly, the Tudor Black Bay 58 I let go of. The IWC La Petite Prince, beautiful watch. Still love that watch to this day. I think about it all the time. The Trilogy, I had that Speedmaster Trilogy. That didn't stay very long, so I don't even count that. My Speedmaster Hesalite, I had that one. So that was 4 watches that I moved on this year because I kept wanting to just refine my collection. I knew I was getting the Royal Oak, which was significantly more money. So I wanted to get rid of some of the pieces that I thought, okay, I'm probably not going to wear them as much. And to me, wearing them matters. And I'm pretty happy with the 5 that I have right now. But we do have some pieces potentially coming in. You're on the wait list for the Speedmaster Snoopy, Silver Snoopy. And we're number 1 on the list. I think we need to massage that relationship a little bit and be visible to the guy because I know how to play this game. And I really believe, even though he promised us this watch, that it's nice to still shop with him and see them occasionally. So I would propose that we buy some watches from them that we may or may not keep long term, a watch or two, that we enjoy, and then, say, hey, we're probably going to lose when we sell it, but maybe an Omega, something else, you buy it just because you're being visible, because in the long run, you want that Silver Snoopy.
Well, you know which Omega I saw in the shop that
Yeah,
I wanted.
but so something like that. We'll think about what could possibly happen there. And then I'm hopefully going to get a BLRO, a Pepsi of some sort. I mean, I'll either get a Pepsi new ceramic or I'll get a Pepsi vintage, depending on what happens with the AD. I want more Royal Oaks. I want a chronograph Royal Oak. I think we both would love to have another Royal Oak.
I think we both would love to have another Royal Oak. I would agree with that.
And so, if that's where our collection is headed, guys, I propose that we think of it as one collection and really start to cut out any of the fat, any of the unnecessary, just slice off. Not the good fat that you want to hug and squeeze and snuggle up to, but the fat that's nah, man, you got to go. You got to go.
I'm sorry.
You got to go.
Where do you think you're going to cut the fat?
Okay, let's talk. I'm so glad you asked. Thank you for that question. Here's where I think we trim the fat. Honestly, and just don't have a strong reaction yet. Just let me talk. Let's talk through this.
You picked up the wrong watch to start that conversation.
No. On this AP journal here, on this magazine, these are the ones. These are the ones that I think are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. This is the unified collection. These guys,
you lost your damn mind.
These guys need to go. Those guys are crowding me. They're just stressing me out. These guys right here need to stay.
I'm sorry.
That's what I think is the new improved 2.0.
No,
3.0 collection right here.
No, what you need to understand is way back in the day.
Okay,
that wasn't so long.
Cut. It's over.
Way back in the day, this was...
I know, but you make hard decisions in a household of watches.
This was actually a Speedy in a Longines house.
We've moved on.
We haven't moved on.
We've bypassed.
You better put that Hesalite sandwich back on that book.
Guys...
You better put that.
My thing about Speedy is, I love the Speedy. My first luxury watch was a Speedmaster. They come and they go. They're not special unless you're getting. Is. No, it's not that special. It is cool because it's the Hesalite and the sapphire case back, but it's not that special. And it needs a service. So there's another factor. Is I'm annoyed that. Okay. Well, then the other thing is that you have special Speedies that are actually out there, limited edition Speedies like your Silver Snoopy, which is limited production, or Ultraman or Speedy Tuesday. There's really sexy Speedies out there that are still the professional model.
I'm not going to be able to get the 1950 50, 60 something.
Yes, you can. For the same price as this, you can get an 861 movement, or even, well, not really a 321, but you can get a 70s Speedmaster. You could get a birth year
You're
Speedmaster
not letting me finish.
that has patina on it.
I can't get one.
You can get a cool Speedy.
I can't see the movement in any of those, can I?
You want to see the movement.
I want to see the movement.
Guys.
That is one of the sparkling things about this watch.
There's other ones you can see the movement.
You turn this, because even the ones that they came out with for the anniversary, I don't think any of them, the gold one or any of them, have a sapphire back.
No, I don't know. The Ed White does. There's a couple of ones that have them, sapphire sandwich, but then you don't get the domed. Okay, so you would like, you're saying you would like to keep that as the heart of the collection. And I'm saying that's a compromise, possibly a compromise. So that is possible, guys. And if you want this weird watch, let me know. And I know this is not a weird watch. This is a very quality watch, and it will hurt my soul to sell it because we're gonna get pennies on the dollar for this. And then this, you'll probably never see it again, but we could take lots of pictures of it. Yeah, so look at how thick these two guys are. So I just think trimming the fat, refining the collection. You can only wear one watch at a time. Knowing where we're possibly headed with another Speedy in the form of a silver Snoopy, with another Royal Oak at some point down the road.
Here's my problem.
And maybe a little less Rolex. Maybe. I don't know.
Here's my problem.
Yes.
You were saying
okay,
we have to sell those two so we can add extra. When you just said to me, we need to go down to the guy and buy something that we don't want.
Exactly. Yes. This is
that's not going to help the collection.
It does help. Okay, so let's just talk through that logic for a second.
Please
so what I said was that we should buy something from the guy that's promised us a silver Snoopy, so that whenever he gets it, the one that they're gonna get one or two pieces, period. And when he gets it, we want to be on his mind that like, hey, I'm going to honor what I said and give it to those ladies. And I think in order to have that goodwill, you do need to shop with him. And I haven't bought a watch from him in a while. Last time I bought a watch was the IWC, which we also no longer have. And it's not the kind of watch that if you flip it, you're making a profit, so they don't care if you sell it, but it's just giving them some business while we're waiting. And yes, we would buy that watch and have it for a while and probably sell it and lose money on it. But in my mind, that makes sense because it's for the bigger watch in the end. The watch that has that specialness to it, and the watch that has the special features, and it's also a Speedmaster, and it's like, hey, that's you get a one shot at getting that watch, and it feels special. I want to have pieces in the collection that are meaningful or kind of significant for what they are. And this is arguably not that, but whatever, we could assume that it is to some extent. But that's what I mean by having really tight collection that has really good pieces in it. And then you still have your fun over in, some off on the side. You will occasionally maybe buy things that are just for fun. But in the core of the collection, the unified collection, where we take turns, we get to go back to taking turns on watches, or at least maybe together figuring. Well, we kind of did that a little bit, but at least figure out what the purchase will be together, to say if we have one collection, what is the piece that's next? What am I looking for next? And do you like it? Because if it's a piece that you really never want to wear, it doesn't make sense for me to add it. Or if you are getting a piece and I really hate it, then it's going to be like, I'm always going to want to sell it. So I think the pieces going forward that you really like and I really like, we both could be happy with. So that's that. And at times you have to make a decision of like, are we really, these are here, but are we really going to love these pieces as much as everything else on the table?
I try to love all many pieces as well.
Okay.
I was the oldest of 8 children, in which my mother really did try to love each one of us.
Yes, of course. But these are not children.
So the idea,
these are not children.
Only child here. The idea of loving those any less, I hear it. I think that's special.
Okay. So you don't have to come to a decision now. I'm just showing our collection, and End of the year, this is where we stand, unless another piece or two sneaks in, but I don't think so.
Here's my question. So why wouldn't we go to the guy and buy a piece that we would give to someone?
Well, I don't think we're going to give anybody a $4,000, $5,000, or $6,000 watch. I don't know who on earth I would give it to. Plus, in my mind, even if we take a loss on that watch, at least we're getting some of our dollars back, and then we put those aside for the Silver Snoopy. So it's a flipping. That is a little bit of a flipping game, which I don't like to do, but I think in this special case of the Silver Snoopy, we might as well try it. Because if he gets his piece, we want to be like, hey, they're good customers. This would be the second watch they bought. At least that, we're not big spenders, but at least we'll be visible to him. And so I think that's my thought.
Other brands that I wanted other than
yeah, they don't have a lot of brands, but we would figure out something. I mean, obviously they have Omega. I think an Aquaterra could be a nice thing to get for a little while. They carry some other brands, so we would look into it and see what we think. If there's nothing in the whole store that we really want, then we don't buy anything. But I think that playing that game makes sense for a few pieces that you're gonna never sell. Like, we would never, ever, ever sell the Silver Snoopy. I don't think anything on this table sans that is anything I would say we should ever sell. I'm just saying, in terms of, like, do you sell or not? I think absolutely not. Well, except I said I would maybe flip this for the Royal Oak, which is partly why I wanted it, I think. Anyway. Let us know what you think, guys. You had a little snapshot of our marriage counseling session on watches, our unification plans. Do you agree that we have one collection now? Like, do you for this, or do you want separate colonies in the same household?
You're the one who said we had separate collections. I wasn't the one that said that. You're now saying we have one unified collection. I'm just going for the ride, and let's see what happens.
All right, you heard it here first. On the All in Her Movements channel, unified collection from henceforward. It is not mine or yours. It is our collection, and we'll make joint decisions in this household. Peace.